Hello and welcome to Whatever's on the Mind.
Where we tell you what's on ours. Welcome to episode 2, guys.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm Jesse,
Once again, I am Travis.
joined by the meme duo.
Heck yeah, and speaking of memes, what are we going to talk about today, Jesse?
We're going to talk about some meme culture, Travis.
Meme culture.
Angry meme machine, okay?
The angry
Yes.
meme machine. I feel like that would
something
be like
something relevant.
the epitome of Jesse's angry meme
Angry
machine.
meme machine. Yeah, dude. I'd want to be a firebender if I was in the Avatar.
I would be a waterbender because I
You
drink a lot of
Everybody,
water.
everybody I talk to picks waterbender.
Okay, am I just
I
cliche
know.
then?
I don't know. Maybe you're just generic.
I'm like, okay, ouch. A little hurtful.
Well,
So-
it's like, well, I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Now we're talking about Avatar. Screw the memes for a
50
second.
seconds in the episode, Avatar, let's go.
Avatar. Well, it's like I've been watching. Like I'm on season 3 now of it, rewatching again. But anyway, everybody I talk to says like waterbender or something. I only know like one earthbender. I don't know any airbenders. Nobody's
Really?
like. People think I'm an airbender because I'm kind of like nomadic and quiet. So it's like kind of, but I like firebender because that's also my zodiac sign, which is Sagittarius, and that's a fire sign.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, dude, I want to be a firebender.
So for me, I just picked water because I was being Mimi, and that's all I drank.
Oh, fair.
I literally haven't watched Avatar since I was like
Mm.
12 years old.
Dude, you have Netflix?
I do.
You
I
gotta
should.
watch it. All the seasons are on there.
I
It's
really
awesome.
want to because like I never got the opportunity to
It-
watch it all in a row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like when you're a kid,
It's just whatever's on TV.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Avatar.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
awesome,
So let me ask you, Jesse. Going back
Okay,
to memes
I'm
for a
ready.
moment. Like, what
Meme time.
is a meme? Like
What is
in
a
your
meme?
mind, what is a meme?
It's a funny haha picture with captions. uh, yeah, I mean it's literally anything. It's actually kind of like an abstract like form of comedy
Mm.
because there's no. I mean, look at the memes today. There's
yeah.
like, like really the older one with like just the E meme, stonks. Like
Stonks is
it's
my
it's
favorite.
just abstract comedy, man,
Yeah.
and it just keeps changing, kind of evolving over time.
Well, that's the thing, because I remember like memes probably came out like what, middle school, you would say, like when they
Something
became
like that.
popularized, I guess.
Popular, yeah, definitely. I want to say around
Late middle school, early high
Yeah,
school.
for sure.
But
So-
back in those
kind
days,
of like what, like 2011, 2010.
yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
But back
maybe even 2007.
maybe I mean memes have
Um,
been around for forever.
A long
Like
time.
what?
Ancient memes.
I mean, what is the oldest meme? Isn't it some
What is
like dancing baby thing?
Is
or
it?
something like that?
I mean, it depends on how far you want to go back, because like even in like
And how you define it.
those Renaissance paintings and stuff, where it's like like the baby man, the baby mans, like those could probably be seen as memes.
Well,
They're
those-
probably like, dude, I got this fucking painting for you. It's hilarious. Like, all right, hit me with it.
So
baby
those can be considered memes
Yeah.
in a modern day context, but memes weren't an idea until recently.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's
like
why
like the actual word like meme.
right.
Yeah.
So the baby thing I was talking about is actually
Baby
called
mans.
Dancing Baby, and it's from like 1996. Okay,
It's that old.
it's that old.
I
But-
thought the old memes was like like the old drawings of like the rage dude and whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
but
like
that's-
the troll.
That's exactly what I'm
Oh.
saying. Is at what point did we designate what a meme is?
It's a good point. For me, that was that era of like the
Right,
the troll
face.
Yeah,
and
right.
I remember they had the whole like troll game
Oh
or
my
something
gosh,
like
yeah,
that.
there's a lot.
But like in 1996, people weren't viewing Dancing Baby and thinking, "Haha, funny meme."
Probably not. Haha, funny picture.
Honestly, I don't even know at what point I decided to
Yeah.
designate something as a meme or not. Because even looking at like troll face and stuff,
Yeah.
like I didn't think of that as quote unquote meme.
Meme? No.
I didn't.
You just think it was.
I just thought it was, like,
I thought
funny.
it was a meme.
I thought it was like haha funny picture, but I didn't associate it with the word meme.
Right. I know. I have very vague memory. I don't know if it was high school or like the end of middle school, but they called it like a meme.
A meme.
Or like a may. And I was like, do you mean meme, sir?
Oh, dude, dear. That's like the whole
That's
GIF thing, like
Oh,
how
yeah.
everyone.
I say
like,
GIF.
I say GIF.
I think the creator said it's pronounced GIF,
Well,
but then people are like, but it's like graphic, informational, whatever.
what
so it's
does the
GIF.
creator know?
Right. I think he just said that and caused more controversy. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna stir the pot real quick, and GIF. I was like, no, that's peanut butter. Save that for the peanut butter.
I do.
We get GIFs.
I do remember the whole meme and meme conversation because everyone was like, "No, it's a meme or it's a
no,
meme."
it's just a meme.
No, it's a meme.
It's a meme. It's a mean meme.
Yeah, but it's so strange to see how memes have kind of like flown off.
Like evolved and stuff.
yeah,
and
because,
taken
like,
off, and
I
really
remember.
anyone can make them now.
Oh, and that's the thing. Like back in the day, like Memes were so simple and basic, and anyone could make it then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember like the Velociraptor meme?
Oh, like the Jesus one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's always like pondering and he's thinking about like these weird abstract questions and
Jesus
stuff.
Raptor.
But like
Oof,
back in the day,
it's a cringe throwback.
cringe.
Ugh.
I love those. I'll still
Yeah.
love those.
Oh boy.
But think about that. Those were determined to be memes. Those pictures with funny captions, troll
Mhm.
face, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, you know, you can have a random video of some guy smashing a watermelon on his head, and if it gets
Like,
popular
yeah,
enough,
that's
it becomes a meme. And that's another thing to kind of
Oh,
like
funny man.
bring up and think about. Like, at what point does a meme become a meme? How popular does
How
it have to
popular
be?
does it have to be?
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. You mean to be like mainstream or just to be considered a meme?
Just to be considered a meme. Because, like, I mean, if
That's
you
a
have
good
two
question.
people looking at something and like it's hilarious,
That's kind of just an inside joke if it's just a couple
Well,
people,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, it's not. It's like a closed off meme in that sense.
does it have to like expand
So,
beyond
I
your
think-
friend group? Like, you
I
know
think
what I
it
mean?
does. I think it has to gain some publicity to be designated as a meme. Probably so much so that people are using it without you knowing,
Right.
or without you like posting it. Really,
You have to be like scrolling through Facebook and be like, oh,
Yeah,
that's a
that's a
picture
meme.
of me shared by
Right.
some
yeah, or like
dude
that's
in
a meme-
India
That's
or
a meme I
something.
made, and like now there's like a Facebook page about it.
right.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's definitely got to be. I mean, it's pretty abstract, but there's got to be some kind of popularity to it that makes it mainstream. I mean, think of like the Stonks meme. Who made that? I don't know.
Yeah, I have
I
no
just know
idea.
that it popped up on my feed, and I was like, haha,
That's-
Stonks man.
That's interesting
You know.
too, because a lot of those memes don't get
They don't
original credit.
No, they
Wasn't
don't.
there
I
this
don't think.
huge thing in like the European Union? I think at one
Are you
point they
talking
were
about like banning memes?
Yeah, because
wasn't
they-
that Russia? Or
maybe it
it
was Russia. I think it was
could have
in
been
general.
EU.
But I think what it was, and don't quote me on this because I might be
won't.
completely wrong, but I think the EU decided like they were gonna ban memes because people
yeah.
weren't getting original claim to it, like
I
like copyright
see. You're
infringements.
How do you copyright a meme though?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Memes,
It's
like,
hard.
Memes are really just made for the people. It's
Yeah.
not like if you're trying to make a meme and you're like, no, I want to make money off this. It's not
Yeah.
it's not what it's for.
But what
really.
happens when, like, let's say you tripped over and you've dropped a pie and it became a meme? Okay.
What kind of pie was it?
Well, let's say lemon meringue.
I'm gonna prank like the clear one.
Oh, like
Have
the
you seen
clear
that?
one.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
like
want
the
to drop
clear
that.
one. But let's say you do.
You won't be able to pick it up because you
Okay.
can't see it.
Exactly. Oh, and what if that's a meme? Like,
Oh my
oops, can't see without my
Can't
glasses.
see what I
Jankies.
made.
I don't know, man. Something like that. But let's say I took a picture of you doing
Okay.
something really embarrassing, really stupid, dropping that lemon meringue pie, and
That's for grandma.
I post that around, and it gains popularity and becomes a meme.
Right.
And you don't get any of that
I don't get
original
credit, or, like-
You didn't give that kind of consent to
No.
do it. At what point does that blow up and you say, no, that wasn't right?
Ooh. I think if you start kind of getting like attacked for it, I don't know if you'd really if that specific thing. I don't think you'd really get attacked for it, but I mean that's definitely a thing that happens like every day. I mean people post pictures or memes of like these random people, and it's just floating in the internet now.
Yeah.
I mean think about like the blinking eye guy meme, like the like the
Oh,
he's at the
yeah,
show, he's
yeah.
like what.
It's like,
He made a whole video. Is like, so I guess I'm a meme now. That's pretty cool. He's really cool with it though. He's like, go for it, fucking use it all you want.
right. Aren't there
Just
people,
Don't
though,
make fun of me for it. I guess.
there's some people who are made into memes that are made fun of,
Yeah.
though, that, like, literally
Yeah.
have had their lives kind of, like, I don't want to say ruined, because
No.
at the
But
end
I
of the
mean,
day,
changed.
it's
Because
changed.
then they're recognized for something that
Well, yeah.
they didn't really have any power over, pretty much.
You're walking down the street, and you've got, like, the guy who yelled "F your chicken strips" or whatever,
yeah,
and, like,
the car
just-
window.
Yeah, can you just imagine
Fuck
every
your
day
chicken
walking down the
strips.
street and just
You're the
hearing
chicken
that?
strips guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I think it'd be pretty cool for a while.
you do. Well, I feel like it's kind of like, when you're a celebrity,
Yeah.
and you're well known, like you get recognized everywhere you go, and
Yeah.
everything you do.
That to the point of like paparazzi would get pretty
exactly.
annoying.
But even just like walking down the street, and
Mhm.
like I'm sure, like like I said, celebrities like YouTubers and musicians and pro athletes
Yeah,
get this all the
actors
time.
and stuff.
Just walking down the street and not being able to enjoy yourself,
Just daily
your alone
life,
time.
yeah.
Like if I walk down the street, no one's ever gonna run up to me
Like,
and
hey.
yell "F your chicken strips" or I got that motherfucking free taco or whatever.
There you go.
You know what I mean? That's never gonna happen to me unless I become a meme.
You get memed on, dude.
And then you kind of lose that freedom. Memed on. I really like that. You get memed on.
It happens.
But yeah, like I said, there's been some people. I don't know if this is true. I think I saw it on like an episode of Tosh.0.
Oh boy.
But it was like a meme, like kind of like therapy group or something. It was for people that became
like they're addicted to memes, or
no, like people that became memes. Like
and they kind of want
and they like lost their own individuality and their freedom. But yeah, it's crazy to think how much a picture with some captions or some video of you dropping a taco on the ground can change your life, you know?
Yeah, because then you start getting recognized and stuff.
You know, so this is just a thought that popped in my head. Picture memes were always, like, I don't want to say always popular, but from when we consider them popular, Trollface and, like, Velociraptor, Jesus Velociraptor.
Yeah, kind of the rage one.
Those have always been popular. I really don't feel like video memes.
Video? Like, what do you mean?
Like memes that are videos, like like the taco thing, the chicken strip,
like
Vines. Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think those became popular TikToks. Until Vine came along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Vine really blew up when it was a thing.
Yeah, I don't ever remember.
Awesome. I love Vine.
Oh, I miss it, dude. But I don't ever remember like sitting at my computer or my phone and scrolling down and seeing a video and thinking that's a meme until the evolution of Vine.
Yeah, kind of like really short clips and stuff.
Yeah, and I love those. Are some of my favorite ones. Just like 10-second clips of someone doing something
they
absolutely
pack like
stupid.
the most content into that, and it's just there's no like down from it. It's just constant like comedy or whatever it is. You know.
Whatever happened to Vine?
Yeah, I don't think they filed for bankruptcy, but they just kind of.
Did they get bought out, or did they just fizzle out?
No, I think they fizzled. They probably weren't making enough money.
Which is crazy.
It's a good thing to look up, actually. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, I remember sitting in my room and watching Vines and stuff, and I don't know, like I felt like Vines weren't they weren't around long enough. I feel like it lasted maybe like 3 or 4 years of popular.
Yeah. So Vine was owned by Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
Vine announced that Twitter would be discontinuing the Vine mobile app. So I mean that was pretty much it.
What year was that?
October 27th, 2016.
2016.
Vine announced Twitter would be discontinuing. Yeah.
It's been 4 years since Vine.
It's been a long time. That's like a high school. That's your
Honestly,
whole high school careers.
Vine. Just Vine. Yeah. And now TikTok's kind of filled that void.
Yeah, it kind of already has, honestly.
I don't understand how TikTok's so successful. And how they're not copyrighted. I mean, it's literally the same thing as Vine.
Oh, no, they can't really be copyrighted just because they're doing short videos like that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's a lot more, like, I feel like there's a lot more stuff you can do on TikTok. And
that's
think
true.
All the filters and
it's kind of like a Snapchat Vine like combo. You know what I mean?
I can see it.
How often do you dive into the TikTok train?
Not often. I did it.
Is that a thing? A TikTok train? Let's go for a ride. Choo choo.
Oh boy.
Okay, but
cringe. Anyway, I mean, like last semester, so like fall 2019. I watched compilations on YouTube and stuff, but my roommate had the app, and I remember like before finals and stuff, he would have like a huge day of classes. So after that day, he would literally just lay on the couch and watch TikTok for 6 hours. I'm not exaggerating. Like I would go in my room and play games and do whatever. And I'd come out and he's still on the couch. And I go back in. I come out for some supper. I go back. He's still there. And it's just, it was like 6 hours.
I laughed for a second and then I thought about it. And I was like, I could probably spend 6 hours scrolling through Twitter or Facebook
really could.
Or something.
And if there's just constant like content, it just keeps you in. And
that's the thing about memes. It's like memes are, in fact, they're constant content.
Yeah. It's that dopamine.
Will there ever be a day that memes die out?
Probably if the internet dies out.
Do you think the internet's ever going to die out, though?
Not unless you run out of all our resources, pretty much. Like
the end of the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy
we're getting a glimpse of it right now. So,
I mean, you think about how dependent we are on like the internet, and I mean, even like dependent on memes. And I don't mean dependent in the sense
for like content.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna die without memes, obviously, but I want to be like
I'll die without memes.
But I would be extremely different without memes. Like I don't know, how often do you just like chat with friends like online playing video games or something, and you just like bring up a meme
I mean,
and make a joke out of
at
something.
least every time I talk to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like once a day at
It's
least.
ingrained into our like communication at this point.
And it's gotten to the point where like even my father, who is like in his mid 40s,
Yeah.
is using memes and talking about memes. He sent me a meme like 2
It's
weeks
cultured.
ago.
It
And
is
I'm like,
something. What meme was it?
I don't remember.
remember.
I think it was
Was it like a really bad meme?
it was
or
like a really
oh,
cringe
boy.
meme. It was a really
Like kind of almost the boomer memes.
it certainly I think it actually was a boomer meme.
Yeah.
I think it was like a meme about boomers, but it
Oh.
was a cringy boomer
Oh
meme.
yeah.
And I was like, Dad, that's not funny. That's like 6 months ago. Get out.
This is 6 months ago.
Um,
It was so last year.
Shout out to you, Dad. I'm sorry. I love you. But yeah, like even my parents are like
Mhm.
sharing memes and like talking about memes and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't feel like they do it to the same extent we do.
No,
where
we are like constant feed of it. At least I am, because I'm on my phone pretty often unless I'm actually like busy doing something.
And we constantly reference them. Like it's become
Oh,
a
yeah.
part of our common colloquialism. You know, a
Mhm.
common conversation between you and I will include a meme or two.
Yeah.
And it won't be
like
like
the stonks.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
if you say, man, I just like I lost $50 on the stock market because all our
Mhm.
friends are into stocks and stuff.
Right.
If you say stonks, everyone's like ha ha ha, and then they cry because they lost
Stonks.
$50. But like you know,
Nothing but red.
it's a common plug. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it is.
Whereas back 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
Not as common.
No,
if
not at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever reference a meme outside of like what I saw scrolling through Facebook or something.
Right.
It's just crazy how much that's evolved and how much
Mhm.
that's
It is.
changed.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as like saying kind of like the internet, like not I don't know if slang, but like dialect, where it's like you say like yikes and like oof and that just replaces all of your dialogue to the point where it's like you kind of can't hold a conversation unless
Yeah.
you like you have to really really try to be like oh man that sucks, end the
Right.
conversation, oof, it's left on red, like you know
Yeah,
like yeah.
No,
So-
and those have all become common
And
phrases I've used. and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, same. I try to make a little bit more of an effort to like say more, a little bit more, like just to keep the conversation flowing. Because I mean, there's nothing worse than when you just both say like yikes, and
Yeah.
it's just like there's no substance to talk
Right.
about,
No, I'm
you
the
know?
same way. Like I'll plug it in every once in a while. Like you and
Yeah.
I, when we chat online and stuff, we
Maybe.
use emojis like constantly.
I love emojis.
No,
I
they're
would
so much fun.
use so much more, honestly.
But we use it
But,
in
yeah.
context and we use it with substance. You know?
Absolutely.
So it's not like, you know, Jesse over here was like, hey, come to my house. And I was
Right.
just like, thumbs up, smiley face, cowboy hat,
Cowboy
like
hat,
music note.
like
you know?
surfer sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I'll be over there, heart, 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 or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. Just kind of, it just adds to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a
So,
little
I
additive.
also, with some people, I don't like not using emojis because
Mm.
it makes me feel like I'm being passive aggressive or
Right.
like angry at them.
So, really quick precursor. I
Go
use
for
more
it.
emojis with you than I use with my
Yeah.
fiance, which she
Well, I mean,
laughs about all the time.
Yeah.
But that being said, like I'm at the point where I'm texting my fiance and I can't not send an emoji with a message.
Yeah.
Like if I say just like I love you, period.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, is everything okay? Are you,
Right. It
you
feels
doing
off.
fine? Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's weird because
Mhm.
like I don't know. Like, do you remember like the flip phones where you text using
I
the
do,
numbers and
yeah.
stuff? Like you didn't have emojis back there. You,
Not
I mean,
really.
you could get creative and
you
do
can make
the
your own
parentheses 3 or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever that sign. That's not a parentheses. What is that?
Semicolon.
The arrow, the reverse arrow.
This one.
This
What do you mean
one.
reverse
We're
arrow?
pointing at a keyboard
What
currently.
do you mean reverse arrow? Like the greater and less than.
Yeah,
signs?
greater
Yeah.
less than. Wow, I'm an idiot.
I was like reverse. I was like,
Reverse.
This is the other. This is the other
Reverse
side of it.
arrow.
Oh my
No,
God.
but you could get creative and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now
Just
it's
the MySpace talk.
But it wasn't like a normal. You know, you wouldn't do
Not
a
really.
bunch of.
Kind of depended on who you talk to, honestly.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah.
But
It
even
do-
then,
it
like if you
wasn't as
didn't do it,
normalized.
I didn't feel like
It was
people were
not an
like,
issue.
"What's wrong?"
Yeah.
You know, like you're not
Yeah.
using your emojis. What's going
And
on?
that also depends on how you start talking to them too. If you start talking to them without using emojis, that's just how they perceive you. Like, okay,
Right.
he's just talking. If you use a lot of emojis and then over time you get to use less and less and less, it's kind of like a disinterest or something, or
Yeah.
like some kind of, or just maybe not even a disinterest, more maybe it's just more normalized.
Right.
You know,
right.
it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it really depends on like the relationship with that person.
And I feel like part of that stems from us not being able to like be transparent because
Yeah,
we,
there's-
I don't know if you feel the same way, but like
I'm definitely
people
going to.
hide their feelings a lot through
Absolutely.
emojis and through text and
Yeah.
through all these different methods, and
Right.
people become insecure about that.
Absolutely.
So if you're not using that heart, like the very first message they're perceiving isn't he just forgot to do the heart or he didn't do the heart.
Or maybe he's busy, maybe he's he's at
It's-
work, he's got to send a quick text and get
Right.
back to it or something.
It's what's wrong.
Right. It's like, oh God, he hates me now.
Yeah, exactly.
What did I do?
Fiance of
It's
5
like-
years,
it's like-
I hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you call your SO like by their name and not like baby or babe or something, you're like,
Like-
oh my God, they hate me.
This is the end.
It's like the end.
I don't know. Do you feel the same way about memes too? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. In our friend group, we like to share a lot of memes. Like, I don't know if you have
Yeah.
one, but like me,
I send
my
memes
brother,
pretty
and one of my
often.
good friends,
I see 'em.
named Buddha, we have like
Woulda.
a meme like channel, like a meme conversation group on
Okay, a
Facebook
group chat.
Messenger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Group chat.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the word.
You got it.
Um,
I thought you were talking about Discord for a second. When you
Nah.
said like server or something.
No, I am not Discord
No.
savvy. But we have this entire like message
Just
group chat.
Meme chat.
That's all
Yeah.
about memes. Like all
Yeah.
we do is send memes to it, and
Yeah.
that's like it's weird because it's almost like a way of communicating what's going on too.
True, yeah. Especially if it's like about like life events and stuff and kind of like
Yeah.
what's happening in the world.
That's what most of our
Um,
memes are.
For me and like my friends, I mean, I just kind of see what they post on Facebook or Twitter, and I'll
Yeah.
just like react to it or share it. That's pretty much as far as that goes. Unless there's like a really good one that you just have to send it to the group chat. And you're like check this out.
Like this was legendary.
Legendary.
How comfortable are you like on social media sharing memes?
Pretty good. I try to filter it. I want to make sure that it's not like offensive to anybody
Yeah.
or aggressive or like
Smart.
or just like distasteful. I see memes that are just like oh haha funny, but like
It's not really.
it's kind of like
kinda
it's almost
mean.
like having manners, like meme manners.
mean. Yeah,
And
meme
it's like you
memes.
just kind of have to be like considerate of who your audience is, and like for me that's my friends and family, even though
Yeah.
they might not react to any of the stuff I share for my family, but they see it more than likely
Right.
they see it. So I mean, it's just being considerate.
Yeah.
I don't really share a ton on Facebook. It's just kind of whenever I feel like it and whenever I see something nice. I'm
like the
yeah.
occasional kind of share.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Just to kind of fill up my feed, so if I'm ever scrolling back on my own profile, I'm like, I'm
Right.
so funny, dude. Like, feed the
Yeah.
ego. For sure.
Yeah.
So that was a nice, like, 20 minutes of meme talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up? What's up in your neck of the woods?
My neck
Al
of the
Roker.
woods. You mean our neck of the woods?
Our neck of
We
the
live in
woods.
rural Maine.
You're right.
Do you want to talk about rural Maine? and
Let's
what
talk
you
about
think
rural
about
Maine. Let's talk about the good parts of rural Maine.
Well,
Oh, wait, there isn't any, but
oh, that's offensive to many rural Mainers. I love rural Maine.
they can call it.
Okay, let me ask you this.
We both live here.
You have two options in life, okay?
Yep.
You can live in a nice, quiet neighborhood with
Nice.
mediocre schools.
Mediocre.
But it's
Oh.
quiet. There's plenty of recreational activities around.
Sure.
A lot of nature, a lot of fresh air. And
So is this like suburban or like kind of more
no,
countryside?
we're talking like countryside,
Oh.
rural. So
It's not for me.
Really?
I'm not countryside, dude.
So what
It's
are
too
you?
boring.
Like really?
Suburban.
You're more suburban.
Like where we are here is nice.
Reap
Although
the resources of the city without living in the
yeah,
city.
right.
Well, we're more rural fringe, really. We're kind of
Rural
like
fringe.
yeah,
It's a
sorry.
nice band name.
rural fringe, bro.
Yeah, man.
No, we're more kind of like on the outskirts and like
Yeah,
we're
because there's nothing to do in this town.
Yeah.
Like, we have to go to the. We're in such a small town that you have to go to the next slightly bigger town over to do something like movie theater.
So
you know
let
what
me
I'm talking about.
let me comment on that real quick
Go for it,
because Buddha and I, I'm gonna keep plugging his name.
Buddha.
We actually had this conversation the other day
Yes.
where we talked about how when we were younger we felt the exact same way, that there was nothing to do around town.
Right. Well, because there was so much to do like when our parents were growing up here. You know,
yeah.
they talk about it sometimes. Like we had our own movie theater. We had
Right.
like I don't know. Swimming
Yeah,
pools,
no, there was-
whatever. There's stuff to do. That's the
No,
point.
bowling alleys. There were a
bowling
lot of
alley.
things around here, and those things aren't available
No,
anymore.
pretty
But,
much all shut down.
but we kind of talked about the fact that the town we live in is very central to a lot of things. So like Jesse was saying, you can drive 45 minutes to a nearest movie theater.
Right.
You can drive 15 minutes down the road to hiking trails and
Yeah.
kayaking, ponds, and like all these different things. When I was younger, though, I grew up in poverty, and my mother worked a lot of jobs
Yeah.
and didn't have a lot of time on her hands,
Mhm.
and it was so boring to not be able to
Absolutely.
do anything.
Did you play video games during that time?
Yeah, I did play a lot of video games. That was one way
that was my escape from like the boringness. Was just, I just
Yeah.
I had the GameCube and I just played that a ton.
But when you're a kid and you can't play online games and stuff because like you don't have Wi-Fi or like
Right.
it just wasn't advanced
I mean,
enough,
even
it gets
back then
boring.
there wasn't too much online.
Yeah, exactly.
Games for like consoles at least.
Right. But anyways, like what I was trying to say is now we have the availability to drive where we want to. So,
Right,
for instance, my friend Boot and I just packed up our kayaks the other day.
The kayaking was so fun. I
yeah,
did
dude.
kayaking on the weekend. I was actually really because I don't do that often. It was
Yeah.
really just it was so peaceful and like
But yeah, like
relaxing.
you went,
It was
what
nice.
was it, 35 minutes away, and you were able to kayak on
Something
a
like
really
that,
nice
yeah.
pond.
Yeah.
Boot and I went to this place called, oh shoot, I can't think of the name. But anyways,
it wasn't Roxbury or anything, was it?
No. But we went to this like pond, and it was pretty decent size. And we kayaked for like 3 hours, and we did like 5 miles worth. Yeah,
Were
we
your
were on the
arms
water
killing
for a
you?
while. Oh yeah, I was sore
Yeah,
afterwards.
my arms would be jello after that, dude. Oh my god.
But that killed 3 hours. Well, more than 3 because you have to load everything up. That killed 6
Right.
hours of time.
Oh,
Whereas when we
that's
were
a
a
lot.
kid, those 6 hours weren't going to be filled by anything else other than video games and like hanging out in the street.
Right.
So like the thing I've learned is like the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten. I've come. How do I say it? The more I've come to appreciate nature.
Okay. Sure.
And that
Yeah.
appreciation of nature makes me realize exactly how much is around our area.
Yeah, because it's very scenic. I do get that.
And it just there's so
Yeah.
many different trails and there's so many different ponds to kayak and there's so many different things to do
Right.
outside that it eats up all that boredom, I guess,
Right.
that existed
And-
beforehand.
Yeah. And you like that, yeah?
I do.
See, yeah, that's not for me
No.
usually. Like, I'm an indoors guy, like,
Hmm.
play video games, whatever, watch Netflix.
Really ironic.
It's nice to go outside every now and then, but I'm not like, I don't want to, like, live outside. Like, I don't want to spend
Right.
most of my days there, you
Oh,
know?
that's fair. I was
I
gonna say
like the
that's-
photography aspect of it, though.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
Get
awesome
some nice
thing.
pics out there.
Mhm.
No, I was just gonna say it's really ironic because you're saying you're not an outside guy, and I'm saying I am. And if you looked at the both of us, you would
You
think
could
it's
tell.
the exact opposite. No,
Oh,
you think it's
really?
the exact opposite.
Really, I would think you're an outdoorsy guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude.
No,
Yeah.
no. My size and complexity, and
It just screams hiking.
it screams hiking, like dad hiking, like take
Yeah,
the kiddos
exactly.
up the mountain.
Like the cargo shorts and like the knee-high socks.
All right, I
For
guess.
sure.
All right, yeah, I guess you're right there. I guess
Just a
you're
bit.
right.
How do you think that I'm outdoorsy? How do I look?
I don't, you
outdoorsy?
you look fit. I don't know.
Fit?
You just
I got the soccer bod.
You
even though
do.
I
You
never-
really
I've
do.
almost never played soccer. I played a little bit of it.
I played soccer once in
yeah.
my life.
It's really fun. I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
No, I was just looking at you. You look like you'd like to go outside.
Keep looking at
so.
me.
I will always look at you. Always. Off camera.
Okay. Off topic, dude.
Off topic. But yeah, I don't know. Like, how do you feel about rural Maine? Like, what do you?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's like the definition of like it's okay.
So
I
what?
can see why people come up here in vacation.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like. I know we've grown up here, but it's like if I lived like, even in Portland or something kind of more like city focused. I
Mhm.
wouldn't want to like come to like and just be like, let's live here now.
Oh, that's
But,
fair.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, part of me, I really like the area we live in just because of how quiet it is.
It is quiet. It's nice and peaceful. I'll give it that.
How much outdoor activities there are, and I think my favorite part about it is how close the community is. You know,
Yeah.
I
I haven't been part of the community much, honestly.
really,
Yeah, but I do see it on Facebook and stuff. It's really nice.
but we
It's
band
comforting.
we band together. You know, like
Right.
just a little while ago, we had a kiddo pass away in our community.
Yes.
Very young. I think they were in like maybe second or third grade or something.
Oh,
like
really?
that. They were in elementary school.
That's sad.
And it was this huge thing, but everyone came together and we all raised money for the funeral, and we all tried to pitch in our time to memorialize and remember the incident that happened.
Yeah.
And like the schools came together and did some fundraising to put in some memorial benches and like all these different things
Yeah.
that I don't know if you'd see that in a
In-
suburban community, and not at the
Fair.
same level. Like I feel like you would see that, like
But just not.
like if a
maybe
kid
isn't, like,
passed
intimate.
away in like the Portland community, right?
Sure. Yeah.
This big city, there'd probably be some sort of like, memorial. There'd be some sort of like semblance in the schools of like, okay, we lost someone close,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be as deep of a community impact as it is in a community like ours.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, you could even use like the football games that we have.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
remember like you go to like what was it, Cape Elizabeth or something? Like,
Yeah.
kind of those places, and you look at the bleachers, and there's like next to nobody.
Mm.
And you come here, and it's like they're packed. Everybody
Oh,
wants
yeah.
to see the kids play and stuff, you know. And there's a bunch of parents and friends and family,
Yeah.
and it's like it's pretty sports centric because you know
Unfortunately,
that's
yeah.
kind of what there is to do, you know.
But
yeah.
nonetheless, it's still a community coming together
It's
for a
nice.
common
Yeah,
cause.
for sure.
I don't agree with prioritizing sports over education,
No.
of course, but I
And it's-
definitely think it's
yeah.
important, and I
That's
think
the same like entertainment over kind of everything
Yeah.
in America, really.
so.
for sure.
So you're looking like what you want is more of like a suburban kind of like area.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, is like Portland too big for you? Because Portland is
Portland?
the largest city in Maine, right?
right. It is the largest.
But it's not
You
that
mean like
big.
you mean like living there, or do you mean like
Yeah, like living around there.
like having like I don't know if I'd want like an apartment in the city.
Would you
I
want
don't
like
know.
a house on the outskirts or something?
That would be
like
fine. Yeah, I think that'd be nice. Just I mean, even use like Gorham as an example. It's like
Gorham,
it's
Maine?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's I don't know if it's like super rural. It's suburban for sure. I mean, there's stuff to do.
Right
But,
outside of Portland.
Exactly. Oh, that's my computer. Awesome. Thank you, computer. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like, stuff to do is like 15, 20 minutes away. There's
Yeah.
a ton of food places. There's the mall, like the main mall. And there's like a bunch of shopping you can do, and there's still like hiking and stuff. There's still nature. I just think it's nicer. It's not like you don't have to go an hour just to do something kind
Right.
of basic.
That's
you know?
fair.
Like the movie theater's 20 minutes away. Like if you want to go to like a nice restaurant, 20 minutes away. Everything's within like a nice travel distance.
Maybe part of that too is just by the nature of what I do for employment
Mhm.
and what kind of political positions I've held and all these different things. I'm very accustomed to driving. Like an hour-long drive is a
Actually, I
normal
like driving
drive.
now. I used to like when I was getting my license and stuff. I hated driving.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I gotta
Yeah.
go out to the store, and now I'm like, I could like just take an hour trip and just go wherever
Usually
and
it's
just
the
relax.
opposite for people. That's odd.
Yeah.
Usually people
Usually, like you want it. No, it was like a chore for me to get my license.
Really?
I put
Yeah.
it off for so long. I think I got my permit when I was like 15 or 16,
Yeah.
and like took the whole driver's school, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I just like waited until I was 18 to get it.
But I guess the point I'm
Got
trying
it
to
on
make.
Got it on my second try. Very cool.
Mine was my third. Oof.
Really?
Oof.
I felt so bad after
Big
failing my first
Oof.
one. I was
there's those memes again.
I was like, I'm a failure now. And then the other guy I knew, he took it 6 or 7 times until he got it. It was
No
a lot,
kidding.
and I was like, I'm surprised they let you do that.
Cringe.
Yeah.
No, but I guess the point I was trying to make earlier is that, for me, the travel is part of the event, I guess.
Like
Whereas,
the experience.
yeah, and I feel like what you're talking about is like you're more. I don't want to say like immediate gratification because obviously it's not
Yeah.
immediate, but you don't want to drive 45 minutes to go see a movie. You
Right.
know what I mean? You would prefer to.
I like convenience.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas for me, that convenience factor isn't really a thing. I don't need that convenience per
Right.
se
Yeah.
because I see the trip as being part of that.
Part of it.
I always do
the
stuff.
journey, not the destination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I always do stuff when I'm doing those drives. I listen to
Yeah.
podcasts or music or
I
I
love
chat with
listening to
friends.
music when I'm driving.
But I don't see it as a waste of time. So my fiance and
That's
I,
fair. Yeah.
we drove 2 hours south to Wells, Maine,
Yeah.
to go to a beach down there. And you're probably thinking, why wouldn't you just go to the nearest pond that's 20 minutes away, or
Right.
why wouldn't
It was
you?
probably nicer in Weld, right?
Oh, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
But
So that was like worth it.
yeah,
To drive those extra hours.
well, and for me, it wasn't even just like it was worth it, the destination wise, but
right.
the travel time. Like me and my fiance, we listened to a bunch of music, and I was like, hey, how do you like this song? And,
Yeah.
I like this song a lot. And
Yeah,
we
it's-
talked
it's-
about what do
It's
you
a
want
part
to
of
do
the
with your future?
experience
Exactly.
for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Going back on that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For me, I mean, like, I can see that. But it depends on, like, if I'm driving by myself or
Yeah.
if there's, like, a crowd in the car or something.
Yeah.
Because if there's more people in the car, then it's kind of whatever. You're just hanging out.
Right.
But if it's just you or maybe, like, you and somebody else, I
Right.
kind of want to, like, I want to get there, get back,
At the
Something
end of
like
the
that.
day, it's just whatever you want, whatever you
Yeah.
prefer.
Really.
There's
It's all preference based.
hundreds of thousands of people that would prefer to live in the center heart of Philadelphia,
Right.
whereas I would absolutely.
Dude, I would go for a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh my god.
food.
Have you ever had an authentic
I
Philly?
haven't. I want to have
Oh,
authentic Philly cheesesteak and authentic poutine in
dude.
like Quebec, I think.
That would be
Some
good.
kind of some part of French
I haven't had the
Canada.
authentic poutine, but I had one. My fiance and I went down to Philly. We stopped at like a street vendor and got a Philly cheesesteak, and I'm telling you, it was
just a street vendor too.
oh, it was just a street vendor, and it was
Wow.
so good,
Yeah.
like so much better than like they
Yeah.
hype it up in some restaurants and stuff like that. You know, no,
No.
go to the street
Honestly,
vendor.
I mean that's where it is in the cities, man.
Mm.
It's all about all about the food trucks and kind of the street vendors, because I feel like they have like the most kind of like genuine experience of
Yeah.
like maybe like just speaking from like maybe a cultural aspect or
Right.
whatever, because it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
If you ever watched like the Chef Show on Netflix, it's with John Favreau and Roy Choi.
Mm.
Roy, like, he made his business from a food truck.
yeah,
And it's just, it's hard work, it's hot, but like they make sometimes better food than the restaurants do.
yeah. Oh yeah,
'Cause
you
it's
very
just-
well can.
They care about the food more than really anything, you know?
Right.
They want to make good stuff.
Mm.
Yeah,
So-
getting me hungry now.
Yeah. Let's go back to this rural versus urban versus like suburban kind of thing.
Sure.
I want to ask you, and then you can ask me later on.
Okay.
What 10 years from now, where do you see yourself kind of like living, settling down, doing like where do you picture yourself?
Like specifically, like what, like town and stuff, or maybe just kind
Not
of
town,
what
but like
setting?
what kind of setting? What's your house look like? What's your job look like? What's your everyday kind of routine?
I would definitely. Okay, so
It's a lot to think about.
It is. For a setting, I mean, I'm still gonna go with kind of like suburban, like kind of like outskirts of the city. Stuff's close enough that it's like not a chore to just kind of go out and go shopping.
Yeah.
Rural is nice. For me, rural is nice for like a vacation. It's to kind of get away from all the noise.
Kind of have like a
that's nice.
cabin on a
But it's-
pond or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just for me, living rurally would just be kind of boring because it's like I like I use plenty of stuff that uses the internet, so it's like
That's fair.
I just want good internet and just kind of be connected and stuff. Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic for that.
What's your kind of like picturesque house? What does it look like? What's your setup?
Something not too big.
Really?
I don't really want a big house. Probably 3-bedroom, two or 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Just maybe a lot of windows. I don't know. I don't really.
You don't
I don't really
that
think
kind of
about
stuff?
architecture too much, but I mean
No,
pretty
that's fair.
basic stuff. Yeah, like 2 or 3 bedrooms. Maybe use one of them for like an office, gaming space,
Yeah.
recording space, whatever. 2 bathrooms because that's just honestly a must if you're not living by yourself.
Right.
And then another bedroom for like the kiddies. You know,
The
if we
kiddies.
ever have kids.
Kiddos.
Yeah, just something basic, man.
Yeah.
Just something that's comfortable and like a little luxurious, but like not so much so that like it's just too much. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want it too big.
No.
And as far as like employment goes, what do you see yourself doing?
I would love right now. I have changed over the years. I mean, I wanted to go into game design for a really long time. And I still do. I think it'd be a really interesting career. But right now, I'm thinking more of like video editing and maybe being like a video producer and something
Yeah, fair.
for some company or maybe independent. But I'd like to earn like like maybe like $60K a year,
Right.
something comfortable, but it's not like
So
much money that I don't know what to do with.
yeah. So what does like video editing look like? I guess in the
What's it look
professional
like?
sense, like give
That's a
me
great question.
some sort of like is it like social media? Is it like video producing as far as like movies? Like what
Oh,
kind
I see what you mean. Probably, I mean, like, it'd probably be for, like, some kind of TV show or even, like, YouTube shows or YouTube channels,
yeah.
maybe Twitch channels and stuff like that.
I see.
We referenced this, or I referenced this in the last video, but BDG, Brian David Gilbert for Polygon, not BuzzFeed. I got that wrong last time. I did fix it in the last video, but he does work for Polygon.
Yeah.
He's a video producer.
Okay.
He just makes YouTube videos, and he does that with the company. He has a boss and stuff,
Yeah.
supervisor. He makes pretty good money. So like, and if you watch his content, I don't know if you've ever watched him.
No.
I know you don't know about him.
I'll have to check them out.
But he has this. Polygon has this playlist called Unraveled, and they'll take like a video game, like at I don't know, like a topic or something. So like Mario Bowser's Army. What is the hierarchy of Bowser's Army? And he'll do a whole 20-minute video talking about it and stuff.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so funny too. They
Yeah.
they do some awesome content. But yeah, so yeah, video editing, nice comfortable house, pretty basic
A
stuff.
suburban setting.
Suburban, yeah. Ideally, I would live urban too. That's
yeah, I
fine.
can see that. with you.
But I like suburban because it's a little bit quieter, a little bit more peaceful.
You kind of get both of like the rural and urban aspect.
Because they're both kind of same distance apart.
Right.
So you can choose the best of both worlds.
Yeah. See, I feel like
you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I put a lot more thought into this having like a fiance.
I'm like wherever I end up, I don't care anymore.
No, so for me, let's talk about setting. I'm gonna stick around a rural area.
Yeah.
And maybe
keep talking. I'm gonna grab a cough drop.
Do it.
Keep talking. You do you, bud.
So like as far as a rural community goes, something kind of smaller. But not too small. I don't want to have to drive 45 minutes to the nearest grocery store, or
That's what I'm talking about. Man.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I don't.
40 minutes to the grocery store.
I don't mind driving 45 minutes to a recreation. Okay, if I'm going 45 minutes to watch a movie or go swimming or kayaking or something, fine. So be it. But when I get out of work for my 7 to 3 shift.
You don't want to drive like a super long.
No, I'm going to go grab the stuff for my chicken fajitas right off.
Maybe some stir fry.
Oh, stir fry.
So Philly cheesesteaks, man.
So yeah, I see myself in kind of like a somewhat rural community. And I'm going to give you like 2 different scenic kind of picturesque places because I have 2 ideas in mind. So something kind of rural, maybe 10,000 to 45,000. So it's kind of like a bigger rural.
What's the money for? The house?
No, 10,000 to 45,000 people.
Oh,
yeah.
Population.
So, population-wise.
I was like, that's kind of a cheap house.
And the reason why I say 45,000 is because I could see myself living in a place like Lewiston, Maine. That's a good example.
Yeah. 10,000 is not that small compared to our town.
I think we're right around 10,000.
For here?
I think we're pretty close.
Oh, I thought we were at like 5,000.
No, we're at like 8,000.
Oh.
But anyway, so yeah,
where are they?
Where have they?
I never see them.
Where have they gone? No.
Come out at night, man.
So a place like Lewiston is like bigger. They have a lot more to do around there. Lewiston's kind of like a mini city.
I have family in Lewiston. We visit sometimes for like holidays and stuff. It's a pretty nice place.
Yeah, but any like metropolitan area, so like any big city in Boston.
Yeah.
Or not Boston. Sorry, in Massachusetts, like Boston.
Yeah.
Would consider it to be peasantry, I guess, compared to them
for
like,
the
population size.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I say 10,000 to 45,000 because it still opens up that avenue.
Right.
So I want to live somewhere around that, either in a rural community, or something else I would enjoy living on is like a coastal community.
Dude, I would love living on the coast.
It's just so nice. There's a lot of resources over there. They have really great schools. There's just so many benefits to it. The only downfall is it is so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, on the water. Yeah.
You talked about Cape Elizabeth before. I constantly.
That's expensive to live there.
I'm on Zillow all the time and I look up houses. You cannot find a house in Cape Elizabeth under $250,000.
Really?
$250,000 is like a freaking teacher's house right there.
Right.
It's someone who doesn't make a lot of money. It's someone who can just barely get by. It's ridiculous. Most of their homes around there are like 400,000 plus.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's a rich town, really.
Yeah.
It's
your doctors and lawyers and it very much
upper
is
middle class.
So that's the only thing about the coast, and it's not just Cape Elizabeth that's like that.
Yeah.
Look at like Booth Bay. Booth Bay is like that too.
Yeah.
A lot of their housing market is 250 plus.
Right. And for our viewers, by the way, we're still talking about Maine.
Maine. All this in the context of Maine.
All this is Maine. Yeah.
Except for when I mentioned Boston earlier.
Right.
There is no Boston, Maine that I know of, but if there is, maybe we should.
You like Boston Red Sox though?
Woohoo!
I don't know why.
I don't know.
That's the New England team.
That's New England.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the communities I see myself living in. As far as like a house goes, I have like a few things in mind that I absolutely need to have.
Okay.
First and foremost, I need an open space concept. Okay.
Like office?
No, like open space concept. So when you're talking open space, it's like the whole first floor, I guess, or whatever you enter into.
Do you mean like no walls?
Yeah, pretty much. There's different like doorways
I know
and stuff.
Very next to nothing about architecture.
Yeah,
so.
I watch a lot of HGTV.
Yeah.
But a very open concept. So like from the kitchen, you can look into the living room and like talk to your guests.
Gotcha.
I'm very I like to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have people over, I like to chat with them. I like to cook and have people come along with me. I would hate having to scream around the corner on the other side of a wall.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Being like, haha, that was really funny, Billy. Yeah. I don't know, Billy.
Billy. But me and my mom actually did that earlier because I was getting the laundry from the shop. And I brought it around to the staircase, and she's in the like the not the dining room. Actually, no, yeah, it is the dining room. And she's like, "Where are you?" And like,
Yeah,
I go back over
exactly.
here, and then she goes the other way, and I'm like,
Yeah, you just
I'm
gotta
like,
scream around. You gotta navigate around. It's just I want open concept.
right.
So that's a must-have. Secondly, it needs to have a finished basement. And I know that sounds strange.
Basements are really nice.
Yeah, and it's weird because
and they're cool in the summer, and
they're
you can
cool.
just chill, like have like a TV down there,
exactly
some gaming stations.
I want to have like
It's
a
really
pool
nice.
table down there,
Oh, yeah.
and
Maybe like
you know,
a little
like
bar.
I was gonna
outside.
say a mini
Ooh.
bar down there
Yeah.
and stuff. But I
That'd be
want
awesome.
I want a finished basement, and then the last thing, I mean, of course, I need like at least 3 bedrooms because, like you said, we're thinking about when we have kiddos, and if you want an office and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the absolute like last thing I need to have is a big backyard. I can live without it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, because you don't really want animals that much, do you?
I
wanted like 1 dog or something.
I do want a dog.
Yeah.
I would have like 2 dogs and 3 cats personally,
yeah.
but the fiance is like, no, I'm allergic. Oh
Yeah.
no, I'll die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay, I guess just don't be allergic.
Yeah, literally, like, okay,
No,
forehead.
I actually am allergic to cats too, but it's such a
Minor
small
thing.
amount that it's like it just makes me sneeze a lot.
Yeah, my fiance
But,
she
yeah.
like gets really choked up and she can't
Same
breathe.
with my aunt. If my aunt
Exactly.
gets cat hair, cat fur in her face, it's just like puffy and can't
Exactly.
breathe. It's like
So,
deathly, honestly.
I gotta
If they're
honor
allergic.
that. I gotta be like, okay, we'll get a dog.
Yeah.
Find
you
something.
can get
hypoallergenics.
Yup.
Most of
That's
them are
what
so
expensive.
ugly, though.
Oh, ugly.
And expensive.
They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle have a hypoallergenic dog. His name's Charlie. He's adorable.
Aw.
He's pretty old now.
Well, there you go.
But he's got like curly fur and stuff. It's awesome.
But the reason I want a big backyard is because I don't want to have to travel to the nearest ball field if I want to play catch with a kid. I want to set up my disc golf basket right in the back and putt at it, and do a lot of stuff. And it's so much more convenient and so much more fun having it in the backyard. And especially when you have kids, because you don't want to be shuffling kids around all the time.
No, you kind of want to let them run out.
I remember how much of a chore it was for my mother to load up 3 kids into a van to go to the grocery store.
Seriously.
And just thinking like, if I want to go like play pass with my kids every day, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Fam. I'm gonna like kick off my boots and be like, sorry kids, the car broke down, can't go anywhere.
I want enough space in my backyard for like kind of like a porch or like a patio.
Oh, I'd love a patio. Nice like
and then,
fire pit.
Yeah,
too.
and I was just about to say that, like a nice place for a fire pit, big enough for like a bonfire.
Exactly.
And just maybe like one of those swinging couches and stuff,
rocking
chairs.
Yeah. Like I said, I really like to entertain, so that's really what I was thinking.
Maybe even a gazebo, honestly, if it's big enough.
And then the last part of this kind of like 3-part question. What would I want to do, I guess? Where do I want to be in 10 years? And I've put a lot of thought.
So you want to talk about where we are now and where we want to be?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, you already kind of went into like where you want to be, so I guess I'll go into
the
it
video
first.
editing and
career
and stuff. Yeah, sure.
So for me, in 10 years, I'd really like to be some sort of like educational administrator, whether that be like a principal or superintendent or something like that. I could very much see myself doing a superintendent gig just because it's it's a very political kind of job. You have to navigate school boards and the news and the state DOE, the Department of Education.
Right.
And you have a huge responsibility over your district. And that's something I enjoy, is having a lot to do, being very busy and having responsibilities.
You love being busy, dude.
Oh,
I am the complete opposite.
You should see my schedule for tomorrow. It's ridiculous.
I don't want to.
It's like filled to the brim.
But you were busier today than you were yesterday, yeah? Oh yeah. Today's Monday now, right?
Yeah. But that's what I kind of like. I want to do that. Just it's a really good living. That's the other thing that's decent about it. I mean, I would say for a superintendent job, average around Maine is $100,000.
Yeah.
That being said, the responsibilities and the hours you're working, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
So
it'd be enough for me to afford like a home that I want to get and like support my children in ways that I wasn't supported growing up and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless,
you want them to have like a better life than you did.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
Want them to struggle as much.
And I think the thing I like most about some sort of administrative position is that I'm having widespread impact for kids.
Right, definitely that community impact.
Yeah. And that's what I love to do is like having very widespread impact. Because as a teacher, teachers are very important. I will always stress the importance. But you're contacting 100 kids a year, which is phenomenal and it's great. But you're not making any sweeping changes to the system. You're not making any widespread impact on curriculum across the district. and not, that's mostly because they don't have the capacity to at the time.
Yeah.
And that's where the superintendent's role comes in, and that's what I would do.
It's a lot to think about, man.
Yeah, honestly, for me, if I ever got to the point of being able to become some sort of politician or some sort of like, what's the whole? I don't know what the position is, dude. It's like the Secretary of Education.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that was a brain fart.
Yeah.
Secretary of Education. If I could get there someday.
If you don't know, I don't know.
I don't
Trust
know.
me, I don't know anything about that.
No, if I could get to there someday, which is like, head honcho of education in the United States. Like, if I could get there, I would. Right. I don't think I will, and that's fine.
I mean, it's a good goal to have.
Yeah, it's a good goal, but I don't think that's my place and where I fall. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about where we want to be. Like, where are you now in your goals, I guess? What are you doing to take the steps?
So for me personally, I mean, I feel like I kind of have a really kind of basic understanding kind of start. But I'm a junior in college. I'm actually gonna be a senior. I'm gonna start my senior year this semester, fall semester. Nice. Yeah, that'd be awesome. It does not feel like it. I feel like I am still a freshman in my classes sometimes. Fair. It's wild. I might take another year in college, honestly. But anyway,
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No, especially because I changed my major. But yeah, I mean, there's college. I'm going for media studies with a focus in video production and design, the minor in game design. So I want to start, I'm hoping that kind of gives me enough experience, but I've kind of, I've taken it into my own hands now.
Right.
And I've started actually video editing, like this podcast, which really doesn't need any editing, to be honest.
But still.
It needs the intro, outro, the music, whatever, the backdrop, all that good artsy stuff. I think I already said it. I made music videos.
Yeah.
Not great ones. It's getting better. I don't know if you saw my second one.
I did.
You did. And that was better, right?
Yeah, it was better.
It was better.
No,
I had transitions. Sure. The only thing was the frame rate was choppy. Yeah. And that's because of a software problem I did not feel like dealing.
Yeah.
Because I was already hours into the project, and I was like, I'm just going to put this out there, and I'll use it as like a bookmark into what I want to do next.
But the cool part about it,
my hands in a forward motion, like
you're French.
Smelling some spaghetti.
I'm French. We both do this.
Smelling the spaghetti.
Smelling the spaghetti. But no, the important part is that you're recognizing what
progress.
Needs, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like what needs to be done, how to get to the next step. Yeah. And where you've come from is really important to think about too.
And for a career, maybe I don't even go into like a professional kind of environment with video producing. Maybe I become a freelancer.
Yeah.
Maybe I do work for YouTube channels. They want to outsource their editing and they pay me. There's plenty of people that do that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty broad and vague right now. I don't have like a super concrete path that I want to go on. But it's getting there. It's forming. I keep using my hands to motion these stories. But yeah. How about you, man?
Yeah, I guess, wanting to become, the person that I want to become. First and foremost, I think the most important thing is that I've been with my fiance for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
And that's a long time. That's what I want to start off with, just because I feel like that's, my ultimate goal is to be happy in life, of course.
Yeah.
As anyone else's is. And I think
I have a good segue for that topic, actually. Well, I'll do it after you talk about where you are now.
But yeah, I just, having that solid relationship and having that solid foundation has really led to that pathway of being happy, I guess.
Yeah.
On top of that, in terms of like my professional goals, I'm in education courses. I have done a lot of placements in schools. I've read a lot of literature and books around education as a whole, the problems of it, and what's working right, and all these different areas between.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of connections, I guess, amongst people that can help me get to those steps. Yeah, I mean that's a good thing, is having those connections have helped me immensely.
They help you so much in your career path and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to, I serve as a school board member. If I really wanted to, I could start subbing in that district.
You could, if you wanted to.
And that's an avenue to when I get my teacher certification, becoming a teacher.
Yeah, and so you already got that that experience. You can put it on a resume and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, as far as my ultimate goal of being happy, I'm fulfilled almost. There's still little milestones I need to hit, like you're getting our first apartment and getting married and having a kid.
Right. And but the important thing is you're content where you are now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's this continuous flow of I see where it's going to be going.
it's really this. I'm gonna take my segue.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. It kind of segues into it's a great thing to fundamentally appreciate what you have before going to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because I mean, you think of all these rich people and they have everything,
oh my god,
and they're not happy.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to like just take into account everything you have, even if it's not much. If you just have a roof over your head, if you just have food and water, whatever it is, appreciate it. Like I mean, in my room, I got this Alienware laptop, I got a DX Racer chair, I got a Lazy Boy, and like I'm spoiled. Honestly, I'm pretty content. But I still want to. But now that I'm content with that and I appreciate it, I know that I can strive for something else, or something newer, something better, and be happy with it and learn how to appreciate that.
I'm gonna rebuttal that there, buddy.
Go for it.
It's gonna get heated. No, so my thing with that is I agree in the sense that I think it's important to think of what you have and where you come from, but I completely disagree with the notion of appreciate what you have for what it is and be happy with it.
But I'm saying like
maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah. It's not stay happy with what you have and don't reach out for something better. It's acknowledge what you have. Okay, I have this. Now let's go get something better, and then I can appreciate that more than just kind of. And I'm talking about more like material stuff too.
I get it.
Like if you want to get that new shiny PC, but then you get it and you have no games to play. What do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I guess it just depends.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. I just think in the terms of what I'm thinking of, it's very hard to appreciate what you have when you have very little to begin with.
Yeah, that's
so.
Fair.
For instance, let's think about. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom of the totem pole, I guess, and I hate calling it a totem pole, but like in society's eyes, kind of the bottom ring of society is like homeless people.
Right.
So a lot of people perceive homeless people as just making bad choices on their own and not being able to climb themselves up and doing kind of what you're saying.
And that's not necessarily what happened.
Right. Exactly. I don't think anyone.
Systems built against them.
Oh, exactly.
So,
and that's I'm very much like a systemic sociologist. So I look at sociology in a way in terms of systems. I don't think individuals have much kind of like play in their lives.
Right. Okay.
I think the system's kind of set up in a way that you have your winners and losers, and this is something I've talked about before.
Okay. Yeah, you talked about it last episode.
I don't think you intended it to be this way.
I definitely did not. I didn't mean to offend anybody or anything.
And I don't think you're offending anyone. I just think it's important to have the conversation of
make it.
I know you don't feel this way, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there that make that argument of they were just lazy. They didn't do their job.
I see what you mean.
They didn't look at what they had and think, I need more. I didn't get to that next step.
Right.
And that's a very kind of like, it's called neoliberalism, where it's this new kind of founded ideology around.
Is it like be happy with what you have and stay there? Is that?
No, neoliberalism is more a notion of like, people end up in the situations they end up because of their own individual motives.
I see. Not doesn't blame the system.
Exactly. So if you have a homeless person on the side of the street, it was because they didn't acknowledge what they had and strived for more that they failed. Okay? It was because they didn't take advantage of these things that they failed. And that's just not, in my eyes, it's not true.
It's like stereotyping. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I didn't mean that at all.
I know you didn't, but it just kind of made me think about that.
It's a good rebuttal. It's good to make people aware of that.
Yeah.
And the systems in place.
I think at some point, like if you're like middle class, then certainly like think about what you have, be grateful for it, and at any level, be grateful for what you have. But that's not a justification to be content with what you have, and it's not a justification for why you're not able to achieve more.
Absolutely.
Because there's plenty of people out there who would love to move up that social ladder and who would love to take the next step into the next kind of like social ring and economic ring, but they just can't because the system's against them.
Down with the system,
and it's so hard to define what the system is.
Well, because it's so broad and there's so many branches of that.
There's so many factors to that
leak into it.
But it's one of those things where I've always been like this, I guess.
Systemic.
Yeah, very systemic. I recognize problems as a system as a whole instead of just individuals.
Yeah. And I have almost the complete like kind of opposite mentality. I don't blame the individual, but I see it more on an individual level, if that makes sense.
No, and that's a more common kind of view.
Yeah, but I don't blame anybody for doing that.
Yeah,
or for being where they are.
And it's hard because, like, I'm not attacking your
No, and you definitely
thoughts or
aren't,
anything
no.
like that. But that's just like how most people perceive it nowadays.
Yeah.
Is
It's kinda
as an
like,
individual endeavor.
Like they made all the wrong choices and now they're there.
Well, yeah,
That was the
and just
problem.
like even the notion of they need to be the ones to pull themselves up by the
Right.
bootstraps. You know,
Yeah.
they need to uplift themselves out of poverty.
Like-
They need to be the ones who go out and find a
Like
job.
we shouldn't have to help you. You can do it yourself.
Right.
Kind of, but
And
they
it
can't.
festers at different levels. Like I know you're
Yeah.
not someone who would be like, you know, screw main care.
Right.
You know, like main care shouldn't be a thing.
I'm on main care. I'm pretty
But
sure I'm
you
on
see
main
you see
care.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know you're not like that, but there's some people out there that
They
take
feel like-
that idea you have
Yeah.
and apply it to the next level.
I see.
And it's the process of kind of dismantling those kind of ideas.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I don't mean to term like your thought process as
No.
problematic.
But people use that kind of as a way to attack
Yeah.
people. Like
Yeah.
that's
And,
not-
all
I see.
that being said, I've always been very bipartisan in the respect that you're gonna believe what you believe, and I will respect, the way you believe it.
Sure.
I won't agree with it all the time, but I come from a point of understanding.
As long are we talking about like political views? and
Yeah,
stuff?
just in general.
As long as it doesn't like harm people or
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean?
No, and the thing with me is even with those kinds of ideologies, and I feel like this is where I differ from a lot of different, very extremely liberal people, which I feel like I'm pretty like liberal in the sense that I'm like dismantle the system, capitalism sucks.
Right. Defund the police.
I just plugged that in there. I wouldn't even go that far though.
No. I'd defund the police.
I mean, I would in certain ways, but not the whole. I don't know. I guess the thing I'm saying is like my personal beliefs don't have to line up with someone else's for me to respect their opinion and understand their opinion.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I guess like or I agree with you is like defunding the police in terms of like defund the police and incentivize other programming that helps kind of community building and stuff like that.
Reallocate
those
funding.
funds. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But
they do that, and then the crime.
But the person on the streets who is wearing the All Lives Matter shirt or something, I hate that. I really dislike that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna look at that and be like, "You're a horrible human being," because I don't know what they're like as a human being. I don't agree with them, philosophically or politically or ideologically, but I don't know what they're like. I have plenty of people in my family who are, pro Trump, pro All Lives Matter, like all these different things. And I hate it, and I disagree with it passionately. But at the same time, I can understand where they're coming from. When my family member voted for Trump in 2016, I don't think they did it out of the pure hatred of other people, more of the sense of this system's been failing me so long, I need to try something different.
Sure. Yeah.
And I can understand that, and I can respect that, even though I don't agree with it.
I do want to add into that. That's all fine and fair as long as you're not enabling them to create more hate and do this.
And that's my thing.
It's hard to
do both.
To do both, because when I think of like, oh, they voted for Trump, but like, hey, it's okay, you didn't know he was bad. It's like, I think they knew something. Or you can't let your ignorance guide you when you're voting. Man.
No, and that's why I come from a standpoint of education. So when my family member shares some post about some sort of liberal party started the whole slavery thing or something like that,
or like how Antifa's like bad, like a terrorist organization.
I use that as an opportunity to educate, and I plug stuff in. So for example, one of my
listen to you.
It's sometimes. I have some family members. So like today,
they're hard to get through.
Today, one of my uncles and I were working together on breaking down a garage, actually.
Right.
And we had a really interesting conversation. So he came out and he said, I'm pro-Trump, but at the same time, I recognize that something needs to change.
Yeah.
He says.
Also, you just decided you might not want to hit the desk too much. It does.
I do like to hit the desk.
No,
I'm sorry, everyone.
It gets the thumps.
I'll keep that in mind for next time. But yeah, so anyways,
very animated.
He came out and he's like, I'm pro-Trump, but at the same time, he needs to stop running his mouth. He needs to stop doing this. And, I was like, okay, well, let's explore that a little bit. Let's talk about that. Where do your political views lie and where do my political views lie? And can we come to some sort of mutualism, some sort of agreement through things? And him and I were able to agree on some things. So, for example, we talked about our education system. I'm an education nerd. I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah. But we talked about our education system.
Sociology nerd.
Yeah, I know. That's literally my Twitter bio. I was sociology nerd.
nerd.
But yeah, so we talked about how the education system's kind of messed up right now in terms of how much time we're able to allocate towards actual education instead of social needs and stuff like that.
We talked about it a bit during our last episode.
Yeah. But we were able to agree that there needs to be revamping of the education system. And that's someone that, like, it's interesting because he actually said to me, like, straight up, he said, "You changed my mind today." And I appreciate that.
Good.
And those are the type of people that I talk to that I can really appreciate. And I'm like,
because you can actually kind of like persuade them and make them see a different point of view.
I think it's just seeing the different point of view that's important. Yeah. It's not persuading. That's never my goal.
If you're, I mean, I see that.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, well, if you're like being aggressive as a first like thing, like you need to like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then they're just gonna shut you out.
Exactly.
So you do have to coerce them a little bit to at least listen to you.
And that's why persuasion's never my goal.
Point of view.
But if that's the end product, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I think my views are the right views, and other people's are the wrongs.
Sure. And that's how they see it too.
And that's how they see it too. That's how everyone sees it. But like I say, I can really understand what other people are coming from when they come from that standpoint of I can listen to you, I can agree or disagree with you, and I can have this conversation. Yeah, you
better not be voting for Trump again.
I don't know exactly. I mean, you never know. It's so hard. Politics nowadays are just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like a game.
Yeah.
But anyway, I kind of want to get off the politic topic.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I mean, we can just kind of wrap it up.
I honestly, if you're feeling that, I kind of want to go one more topic deeper.
Let's do it. Okay. I mean, whatever's on mind. I think it's really funny, just as a plug for the show, like behind the scenes. When we were first like arranging this, we were thinking like, we'll have
in the car.
Yeah. And even like further on, like right before we did our first podcast, we're like, we'll do like one broad topic and then two subtopics, and then like we'll have this
kind of like structured out,
like a loose structure.
Yeah.
And this episode really just proved we're just going off the rails and talking about whatever's on the mind.
The only thing that I think that we talked about that I don't think we even wrote it down, but you just mentioned it before recording, is that we wanted to talk about memes and meme culture and whatever.
Honestly.
And that's like, that was really the only thing we talked about outside of it. And we didn't even start with that. We started with Avatar because I was just like, screw it.
Like, why not?
It's on the mind. Anyway, as the last little topic, I want to ask, how do you get out of a burnout, or how do you prevent a burnout? Creatively, or maybe like as a career in your work, or just in general.
So I used to write a lot of music.
Yeah.
And I used to play in bands.
I used to play a lot of music too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think for me, it's always just about switching it up and trying something new that makes you happy. So
it's kind of like food. If you eat the same thing every day, you're going to get bored of it, even if you really, really like it.
Yeah, but just changing up and fluking it a little bit here and there. Yeah, so my brother and I actually had a conversation like this where we talked about Linkin Park, okay? Linkin Park, you look at their early 2000s music and stuff, and it's all, Crawling in My Skin and, Breaking the Habit.
That's where it's at.
Like hardcore. My favorite Linkin Park era.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2010s, like, their sound really changed.
Sound different,
to sound a bit more, like, quote-unquote poppy, I guess.
Okay.
But
it was more like upbeat.
Exactly. But the thing behind that was, you look at some of the interviews and stuff like that with bands who are talking about their sound changing.
Yeah.
It's that they're getting bored.
They're getting bored doing the same thing.
Yeah, and they're getting burnt out.
Right.
So in order to avoid that crash of we have no more content to put out, we have no more, ideas, change it up. And just try to, stay to those roots, of course.
Maybe
you always want to stay to those roots. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to completely overhaul what you're doing and completely change it in a way that you're kind of faking it.
Yeah.
I hate the notion of faking it till you're making it, because if you're faking it, you're not doing a good job.
You're not really being true to yourself.
Exactly. But if you, it's really difficult to do it, and that's why a lot of like artists and musicians and stuff kind of like just fade out.
Right.
But if you can find a way to retain that originality, that spark that kind of drove you in the first place, while
just keep it going
altering it in a little bits and ways.
Little by little.
Exactly.
Increments.
If you can find a way to do that, but have the same kind of the structure, I guess, that you first had, you can really make yourself be successful, get out of that burnout, and still enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I do want to say this real quick. If you're burning out and you're coming to the point where you don't want to alter, you don't want to change
it up,
you don't want to do any of that, then
maybe take a break.
Just stop and see.
Take a week off if you can.
Yeah, take as much time as you
Yeah.
need. I mean,
Yeah.
I really like it when YouTubers, like PewDiePie is a good example.
Sure.
He took a really long break because he said I didn't like what I was doing. He was forcing it. He didn't feel authentic, and then he came back like a few months later and did something different, while still having his own individuality in there, his own kind of like character.
I can talk a little bit on that. I mean, it's pretty small, but like when I'm making like the little music videos and stuff, I mean, you know how much time I spent on the last one.
Oh my god,
I
like
spent
hours.
way too long doing that, but it was a learning process. But after that, I felt a little burnt out naturally because I just spent so long doing this project that was only like 4 minutes long and like hours and hours and hours behind the scenes.
Right.
So I took a break from that, and this podcast is actually an awesome kind of I don't know, I forget the word.
Kind of like a pivot.
Almost not really a pivot, kind of not intermission. You know what I mean? Like the halfway between
the transition.
Transition. Yeah. It's a nice transition into getting back into that creative passion.
Yeah.
That creative groove. It's really nice. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess it just depends on what scale you're talking about.
True. Yeah.
Because if I'm just like writing a song per se, which I haven't written a song in like 2 or 3 years.
When I was thinking of it, I was thinking of more like work or like maybe like creative projects that you're doing.
Yeah. If you're doing stuff like that, and then step
maybe
away.
Even like the gym or something.
Right. Step away for like a day or two and then come back to
over
it.
Long need.
But if you're doing something consistently, so for example, let's say
like you're doing
somehow this podcast goes on for 5 years,
that'd be
and
crazy.
that would be crazy.
Oh my god!
But say it does.
We'll have to look back at this episode.
But say it does, and we're looking at it, and we're like, man, we're getting really burnt out doing the same thing. There's, we're forcing content. Then you got to really take a big step back and adjust your time.
For sure.
At that point, take 3 months off and just explore what other things there are to do. And if you come back, you come back. If you don't, you don't. That's one thing I really hate.
You don't have to force yourself to come back to it. You can find a different passion too, or
and that's
maybe
what
like
I hate when people like
force
expect
themselves
that.
Back to
Well, no.
You mean like their audience?
Yeah, their audience or consumers. When they expect that, when people say, "No, we're taking a break. We're not." Like bands are like, we're not touring together. YouTubers are like, I'm not posting any more content.
Yeah.
And the fans and the audiences and everyone are like, no, you need to come back. We expect that. Yeah. That's kind of selfish on the consumer's portion,
Oh, it is, because they're not like recognizing that it's draining on the person doing it or the people doing it.
And for me, I'd rather have authentic content from someone I keep hitting the table. I'm
so sorry. The table Travis.
Anyways,
it's okay.
It's not as authentic,
Just want to make that really dramatic.
I think you're part of
I got it. Yeah.
I promise from here on out, my hands are tied behind my back.
Bumping the table, or the desk.
But yeah, like at that point, the authenticity's gone. They're forcing their content, and it's not as enjoyable. You can really tell when a YouTuber is forcing content.
Yeah, because they're not really like into it. They don't have the hype behind it, man.
Right.
Gotta get the people going.
Well, that's the thing with you and I right now. Like right now, I feel like
we're getting the people going.
Exactly. No,
we're like 30 views. Like,
but we're authentic right now. Heck yeah.
Oh, absolutely, we're authentic.
We're not.
Whatever's on the mind.
Exactly. We're not like going at this with a forced perspective of we need to do this for
our
30 viewers.
This is for like a school project. No, this
but
is something to do that's like fun and creative.
But 2 years down the line, if we have hundreds of thousands of subscribers or listeners, which will never happen. But if it ever did,
you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
If that happens and we decide we need a creative break, then we're gonna take that break.
Take it.
Because you're
gonna bake it.
You're gonna notice. You're gonna notice in our dialogue, in our conversations, in our content.
So it's kind of like, all right, let's get through this. Start recording. Blah 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 for an hour.
And on the other end, you're gonna pick that up. People
absolutely.
will hear that, and
because I mean, if it's getting to that many viewers, people are gonna be watching the episodes in like consistently, like next to the next episode. So the episode maybe like a week before is like super hyped up. And then during that week, we lost kind of like that ambition.
Exactly.
And then it's just kind of boring.
Exactly.
And like not really entertaining or not as hyped.
Yeah. So as far as burnout goes, it's really important to focus on yourself and
take care of yourself. Treat yourself. I like doing when I'm in school because I'm working, I'm classes, all that stuff. I like doing a little end of the week treat. I like that like the little tagline, but like on Friday or Thursday or something. I'll go out and get like an iced coffee or whatever you want. Really, go shopping.
I need to do that more for myself, honestly.
Yeah, I don't do it right now as much because it's just kind of like kind of in like a soft quarantine.
Yeah.
So it's like every day is kind of a vacation, which is not the best, but it's not the worst.
Yeah.
So
That being said, I mean, I want to try something new and ask people, like, what do you do to unwind? What kind of treat yourself thing do you have?
It's an awesome question. What do you? Yeah. How do you treat yourself? You know.
When you feel like you've had a rough week,
do you spend a lot of money? Do you cook? Do you
read? Do you
hobbies?
I guess
passions?
cooking's one thing I do.
Cooking. I love cooking, but I don't do it a lot.
Yeah.
I love watching cooking shows.
Oh yeah, cooking shows.
So it's like they can do it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To have Gordon Ramsay give you a plate of
Binging
something.
with Babish.
Oh my, binging with Babish.
Love Babby.
Yeah, I love them all. But yeah, what do you guys do to unwind?
Mm-hmm.
What's your treat yourself moment?
Unwind, treat yourself. Yeah. All right.
So yeah,
went over a little bit over an hour this time. I liked it. I felt more natural. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Gonna keep this in video, I guess. I don't know, but we'll see. So outro time. Roll the outro. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to let us know what's on your minds. I'm Jesse. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Travis, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, awesome. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.